lot of this is about sustaining careers, the financial viability of this, because let's face it, if it weren't financially viable, you wouldn't do it.
For so many years.
Exactly, for so many years. It would be a hobby perhaps, or something that you do on the side, but you wouldn't be able to quit your job and do this if you didn't have that. And a lot of that, of course, comes from platforms, monetization, but I'll talk about that later. But I'm assuming that a larger chunk of it is now brands and your commercial deals. And we spoke briefly about how that has changed as well. But Ankush, do you remember, you was talking about your teething problems, trying to figure out commercial deals there. How is it different today? Apart from, of course, the basics of, having that structure in place, are your conversations with brands, how have they evolved over time?
See, I'd like to say there are multiple aspects of it. One is now creators, like at least people who've been recognized in the field, they have a proper team, they have agencies representing them. That does solve a lot of problems. They can put your name out in the market now. Like when we had started, we didn't know how to tell brands like, I'm also a part of the scene, look at me, you can also, I have great engagement, whatever. But now you can sign up with agencies who will do that for you.
Your ecosystem is there.
Yeah, you have a whole ecosystem. The people running the brands now understand what digital marketing is. They allocate a certain amount of a certain amount of money for the whole year that they're going to put into only digital marketing, right? It's not like a one-off case that I come to you and I'm like, hey, you have a brand, I have this platform, why don't we do something together? You already have a budget for it now.
Yeah, and within that influencer marketing specifically,
yes,
we've had
100%.
global CEOs say that we are putting aside these many millions just on influencer marketing.
Yeah, so that's happened. I also feel like brands are finally starting to realize that the fame, like there's no gatekeeping fame anymore. Like anybody, like adding to what Shid said about democratizing the whole scenario, there's no gatekeeping anymore. Anybody can become a key opinion leader now.
Yeah.
The same brands that were shelling a lot of money on, like, let's say, A-lister Bollywood celebrities are also now looking at, where does the ROI come from?
Right.
Yeah.
Who are the people that our users are actually listening to, especially when it comes to beauty. I think
Absolutely.
Beauty is a great marker of who has ROI, who doesn't have ROI, because, everybody sees all the celebrities endorsing this product, that product, but nobody really believes that they necessarily use them, right? But with creators, you see their everyday get ready with me's, you see their skincare routines, AM routine, PM routine, whatever. So if you follow someone and they're authentic, you would trust them a little more. And I think brands recognize that.
And I want to just pick on this because it's really refreshing to hear you talk about ROI. Because a lot of my conversations with CMOs right now, that is the question. And that's been, how do you measure? Are we getting our returns? Especially with a lot of murkiness also in this space, whether it is inflated follower numbers, engagement numbers, etc. Shibani, how is that for you when it comes to having those conversations about ROI?
Delshad, so apparently now there are apps and ways in which one can measure. And I feel like a lot of brands also, if they are not paying you for per view, I mean, there are two asks, okay? Either you generate sales for them, okay? Which they will measure in their own way. They'll give you a link or something, or there are apps to figure out how many tap-ins happened and who bought what, from whose ID, whose link shared. Or then there is, whatever, money per view. And again, though, there are these apps that a lot of brands have. I mean, the system has become a lot more sophisticated to figure out whether a creator is lying about having the numbers that they have, or are they being genuine, and how do we figure out the logistics of the commercials that they're charging us basis what their actual engagement is and what is something that they've boosted and paid for. So I feel like a lot of brands have become a lot more savvy and a lot more clear about it. And I feel like even Instagram or other algorithms of other apps have also become a little smarter, where they don't let your videos do well if they are branded. So you have to put in that extra push, boost it or whatever. So everybody's figured out this system where they know that people are earning through this. And let's figure out a way to measure how much are we making, how much can we make through them, and how much can we now organically boost this video, unless the content is ruling, and the brand is giving you full creative liberty. Sometimes videos don't do well. So I feel like there's a lot more scrutiny, and the brands, I think, hire apps and whatever they have back end like.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's far more, like you said, sophisticated now and deeper measurement metrics as well. But you know, your point about creative liberties was really interesting because how do you sort of balance that, your commercial viability with your creative sensibilities and staying true to your brand? And maybe Raj,
I think, see,
I'll ask all of you all this, but I'll come to you right now. How do you?
I mean, you know, what you said right now, it was like the difference and the fight between these two things.
Absolutely. It is a fight. It's a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, the organic content and the promotional content. It was like couple of years back. I mean, right now the brand also wants you to create content which just goes with your audience. They are like, we shouldn't feel that it's an ad. Like back in the days, they were like, it doesn't look promotional.
Where are my pack shots? Where's my logo shot?
Yeah, but now they are like, no, it's okay. Just show it like, feel nahi aana chahiye bilkul bhi, it's a brand.
Raj, we to have been going through the exact opposite.
See, there are brands that work completely differently, but like a lot of brands now are recognizing, that the whole ad, like, see, the thing is, a lot of people who run brands are so used to creating advertisements that they sometimes don't understand the difference between an advertisement and a branded piece of content. That branded piece of content needs to be shareable. That's when it's going to get views. You can't, like with ads, what happens is you shove it in people's faces by showing it in the middle of your match or like your TV serial, whatever. With content, it won't reach your feeds if it's not shareable, if people are not engaging with it, right? For that, it needs to be made by the content creator as per what their audience likes. And I think some brands have gotten into that now, understanding, and now they tell you, listen, like, we want to make it like this, but if you tell us there's another way this will work better, we'll listen to you. But that's lesser brands.
Yeah, but there are a lot of brands now who want your video to be an ad. Down to the T, down to them controlling what clothes you're wearing, what side angle.
And then they are like, we want views also.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes.
Then how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that then?
I just clearly, I just clearly tell them that if you didn't make it the way I want, then don't expect views from me. I'll make it the way you want.
Then there's no guarantee that if you do it your way, you'll still get the views.
I don't know. I just guarantee it, and like views eventually come. You can like, I know what my audience likes.
So you're sticking to your guns. But, I mean,
exactly.
So how do you fight, Ankush? How do you fight back when this between commercial viability and staying true to your creativity, yourself, and of course being relatable?
See, first of all, I think I've also evolved in a way where I now realize that if a brand is paying you this much money to create a branded piece of content, it also needs to make sense to them. So there has to be a midway. You can't be like, I do it like this. They won't pay you then. You know, like you're also doing it for money. You're also declaring it's an ad. Now the audience is smart enough to know you're doing it for the money. When I do a branded piece of content, my idea is to create a good piece of content. The brand's idea may be virality, might be like people knowing about their brand, might be ROI. So I talk to them, what is your motive with this campaign, especially in beauty? Like, is it just brand awareness? Then you just create something viral. Is it genuinely selling this particular product, which is your key product? Then I'll approach it very differently. But I think I'm just very honest with them from the get-go. I'm like, if I were an audience, I would not watch this piece of content. Do you still want me to do it? Because brands also need to realize for a content creator to do exactly how they're told is the easiest thing. It's the easiest way to earn money. You give me a script, I'll just say it on camera. The video won't work. I've gotten my money.
I want to work for that.
But this is what I keep telling brands. I'm like, you're not paying me just to upload the video. You're paying me to conceptualize the video. That is my job. Don't do my job. Because then both of us will not benefit from it. So I fight, I argue, but but some brands only want things a certain way. And then you decide whether you want to take up the deal or not. I think when you're established, you also have the privilege of saying no to certain things, right? So I think if it's something that really questions my credibility, especially as a beauty creator, I will not take up that deal.
Even we don't want 90-10 ratio. We just want 60-40. I mean, listen to us 60 and then
90-10 would be great, but 60
they don't like it.
But what I'm hearing is more of a collaborative, more mature brands and clients probably have a more collaborative approach and realize you're not just a broadcast medium.
We're not an ad page.
You are not. You're not.